You ready to go? All right.
Hold on one second.
Recording in progress.
All right, we good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's officially open the meeting for the Fayston Selectboard on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Robert Vassar Town Hall. We have Maddie Vassar, our Town Clerk and Select Board Assistant here. I'm Chuck Martell, Select Board. Josh Livingston, our Road Foreman. Michael Jordan, Select Board. Ron Gray, Select Board. Eve Silverman is our notes and minute taker. And we have a guest, Brian Boyd.
Brian Boyd from the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission.
Welcome. And you're on the agenda here in a couple of minutes, so we look forward to hearing from you. And we have the representative also from Maverick Valley Television. So the first item on our agenda is to approve the Select Board minutes of September 9th, 2025. Everybody have a chance to read those?
We did.
Yep.
We all good with that?
Yep.
Have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve those.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, second.
Ron, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, so I will sign those. Thank you, Eve, for pulling those together. Okay, next item on the agenda is additions or deletions to the agenda. I don't know about you folks, but I have a few to add. Not so much to make decisions tonight, but just to put them out there so we can decide when we want to deal with them going forward. The MOU, or the mutual aid agreement from Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission, I think we should talk about that at some future time. I sent it out to all of you, and I hope you get a chance to read it maybe before the next meeting, so that we can make a decision whether or not we want to join in with that mutual aid agreement. So I just wanted to mention that under other business. Our road policy, you had all asked me at the last meeting to see what was going on with the planning district and what their policy was that they were working on. And we had put wording into ours that was very similar, but I just wanted to check in to see if we want to do anything different with ours based on that.
You sent that out too, right? Yeah.
Yep. Maddie had sent us a note. We want to ratify the approval we had given for the liquor license for 4 quarters.
Yep.
We had done that via email, so we need to approve that. The Maverick Valley Planning District, I sent you all some information on the local option tax, and just to briefly talk about that. And then Doug Mosley's email that came in last week that I finally had a chance to respond to today, that went into some of the changes that are going to take place between the listers and assessors and training that they have to go through and all that. So I'd like to get him at the future meeting, but we can talk about that under other business as well. And then on the agenda, we've got a curb cut we need to add under item number 7, I believe, right?
Yep, there's going to be 2 of them.
Yeah, so,
And then
an executive session. So I should come up with all these things before the agenda was
it's all good.
printed.
They all happened today, really.
Okay, so next item, so I should ask, nothing else to add to that? That's enough? Okay. Stop, please stop. All right, any public comments? We don't have members of the public. Brian is here. So Brian, you're next up on the agenda, so I'll invite you to maybe come up to the table and join us. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, not a problem. Hi everyone, Brian Boyd. I'm a senior planner and program manager at the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission. I met with Maddie a couple weeks ago. She reached out to me. Apparently my name's on a list somewhere that I know something about something, and so she got a hold of me to talk about that.
That happens a lot.
That's, well, maybe to you. So, that's something is the Emergency Watershed Protection Program, and I'm not sure how much detail you want me to go into. Happy to talk about my experience helping other communities with this program. I can sort of start at the beginning if that's what folks want.
Well, if we frame it a little bit, maybe if you get 15 minutes or so.
Sure.
So whatever would fit into that timeframe?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first experience with this program followed the 2023 floods, and I worked with the towns of Middlesex and Marshfield to administer the program for them. And I can say that both of those communities came out pretty happy with the end result. The program for that particular year was slightly different than the 2024 event. So for that 2023, I don't know why, but the federal government paid 100% of the cost. There was no local match. For the 2024, there is a local match, and they use the NRCS, the Natural Resources Conservation Service, uses the language, the sponsors match, which can be a little bit confusing and potentially even misleading. The town is technically the sponsor of the program. That doesn't mean that the town is obligated to pay the match. And Middlesex, again, unfortunately for them, qualified for this program for the 2024 floods. And they, because of the types of projects that are being funded, they have agreed as a town that they would pay that local match. I'm not advocating one way or another. I just want to give folks sort of a bigger picture here about this. The town of Woodbury that I'm working with this year as well, so they qualified under the same opportunity here. They're sort of a little bit of a split, because a couple of the projects that they will have done are in the road right away, and they felt like it was as much a town responsibility as anything to contribute that local match. There is a project that's entirely on private property, and for that the property owner will be the entity that pays for that match. So under this program, the Natural Resources Conservation Service will come out after a federal disaster declaration, and they will look at properties that might qualify for some funding relief. And essentially what they're looking for is to identify structures that will suffer harm under the next flood event. So basically they're out looking around, and it's, I'm sure it's a little bit strange, like, well, that looks bad, but I think it can go one more flood before anything happens. That one looks bad, but it's probably got 3 or 4 more floods before anything happens. So if a property is identified as, again, under immediate harm from the next flooding event, then they can qualify for this program. And the Natural Resources Conservation Service has engineers on staff, although they have fewer now than they did before, and that has certainly caused some problems with the administration of this program. That first year, they did all of the initial engineering work, and then when it was time for the final designs of the projects, they gave us money, well, they gave Middlesex money that we hired an engineer, they produced the final design, and then they also supplied the construction oversight. And separately, we had implementation money that went to the contractor that did all the work at the 8 or 9 different project sites. This year, well, last year's storm and the changes in staffing that have occurred means that they're administering it a little bit differently. So for some of the communities where there is a lot of work, my understanding is they're still trying to do the engineering work themselves, although they're very much behind schedule on that. So we can talk about whether you'd want them to do the engineering work, or we maybe would take a different path if you're interested in pursuing the funds. The NRCS comes out a couple of times just to check in on the project and then sign off on the final invoice. Essentially, they come out, take a look, make sure that the work matches the spec, and then they pay. Our role as the Regional Planning Commission, we handled the request for proposals to hire an engineer. We put out the request for bids to hire the construction contractor, and helped with the invoicing, billing, processing work. And then with Middlesex in particular, we received the invoices, we reviewed them to make sure that they matched what was in the request for proposal or request for bids, made sure that the engineer signed off on any of the construction work, and once that was done, we helped process the invoice and move that up to the feds for reimbursement. So as I mentioned, the engineering staff is smaller, significantly smaller. They had, I believe they brought out some folks from Iowa following the 24 event. Maybe they even came here to Fayston because the Northeast regional staff was so overtaxed with all the not just floods in Vermont, but floods all throughout the Northeast. So preliminary site inspections have happened at this point. They sent the town, Madison has the document there that indicates their cost estimate for construction for the 2 project sites. And then they just use essentially a flat formula, say, okay, if it's going to cost this much for construction, this is how much we'll contribute or put towards the admin cost. And that administrative cost includes the design work that would be done by an engineer, as well as the work done either here in the office or that we would help with at the Regional Planning Commission in terms of putting out those bids, soliciting bids for contractors, et cetera. So Madison and I looked at the documents together when we met. The nice thing about just sort of the flat rate of if it's this much for construction, you get this much for your technical assistance and admin is that it's a pretty simple formula. The less nice thing is there's not a whole lot of money for engineering work, let alone sort of administrative support in here. So that shouldn't be a deal breaker. What I would recommend is to figure out how much we think it's going to cost to hire an engineer if that's the route that the NRCS steers the town towards. And you can ask for supplemental funds. So they cover 100% of that technical assistance cost. So that's the engineering work, construction oversight, and administrative support. So last thing I'll say, before I probably have a few more things to say, I'm certainly happy to answer questions, is that at this point, if the select board were to make a motion to engage with this program, there is no financial risk to the town. So signing the document that Madison has does not mean that the town has or will encumber any expenses. I think that's a really important thing to note, because I would strongly encourage you to think about at least moving through this next phase, getting final engineering designs for the project, getting better cost estimates for the project, and then being able to work with the 2 landowners to better understand if they want to pursue, to move forward with the actual implementation of the project.
Sorry, what project or projects are we talking about?
So it's the camp,
Is this the same USDA
Yes.
program that
it was on hold forever.
didn't have any money for?
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
well, it was on hold for, so we had like 7 things in 7 sites in the beginning, and now there was only 2.
So
What was the second one?
Yeah.
So the
It's
camp up here?
the Mackenzie camp,
Yep,
and then Joe Palmer and Eric Russell, with the barn on the one side, right where the pavement washed out in the flood,
oh, yeah, okay,
and like the yellow house, the driveway's kind of
Yeah.
tricky, that one.
okay.
yeah, so the real sort of commitment moment comes at that point where the yellow machines are going to come out to do work. So up to that point, the town and or the landowner can say, I've changed my mind, we don't want to move forward with that. The reason I would encourage you to consider moving forward is that at a minimum, you would get designs for these projects out of this effort. And even if the projects aren't implemented now, they could be at some point in the future. And given that we're talking about projects on 2 different privately owned parcels, that would in all likelihood be beneficial to the landowner, because there's no guarantee that this program will exist next year. There's no guarantee and certainly hope that we're not going to be facing down another flood next year. You know, knock on wood, we made it through this far. We made it through July 10th, and that was kind of the important thing this year. So, and yeah, I guess the last thing I'll say before I open it up to other questions is that CVRPC is certainly happy to help with the administration of the program. It's not technically challenging, but it is a bit tedious, and it might not surprise you all to understand that there's some paperwork involved. And having helped multiple other communities these over the past couple of years, between myself and my colleague Lincoln Frasca in our office, you know, for better or worse, we understand the forms that need to be filled out and sort of the when and the how that all happens.
Is this available, this program available to the municipality as well, or just private landowners?
To municipalities as well, yeah. But they're the only two projects that qualified based on the site visit by the Natural Resources Conservation Service for Fayston for the 2024 flood were those two properties, two private properties that Maddie just mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Because we went like on a bunch of places.
I was just thinking about that house that's gonna go to FEMA, the erosion there.
Yeah, so it's too late to
Yeah, okay.
identify other projects, and on top of that, this program will not fund work on a property that's also going through a buyout. The whole idea of this program is to make to keep a structure safe for a subsequent storm. The buyout will end, as you know, with the removal of the structure on that property.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this, if we sign this tonight, this kickstarts the program for those two properties. If anything does happen, God forbid, in the future, we'd have to go through the same process again for whatever the new event is and for whoever get impacted by that.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I will note that this program is not necessarily designed to accommodate Vermont's construction season. So if you look at the end date on there, I can't remember, I think it's in November or December.
December 31st.
I got an email today from Bob Thompson, who's now I think he's the state coordinator for the Conservation Service. And, you know, he basically said, this is about Middlesex for this past year. He said, we are way behind on the engineering design. We hope to finish up the designs over the winter. Submit your request for an extension. They know those are going to be coming in, and essentially, if you choose to sign this agreement, the next thing Maddie and I would do is then write a letter requesting an extension. Very straightforward process, not actually a form, just a letter. And then Bob Thompson and his crew have to fill out some forms to extend the award period, and they would also be who we will talk to if or when we discover that the amount of money that they've allocated for technical assistance is not enough to entice an engineer to take on the work.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also where you engage with the town, right? The town and not the private landowner?
Correct.
As I understood, because the landowner is up for, or the town, 25%. And this is where we talked about having something written up with a landowner where they have to pay the 25%, not us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same
Yes,
program, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and so before we knew that, for that 23 event, before we knew that the feds were going to pay 100% of that cost, we had a conversation in Middlesex with the select board about what that might look like. And there, you know, are certainly a lot of different options. You could require folks to put the money in escrow at the time the construction is going to start. The town could pay the money and the property owner could pay back either lump sum or installments. You know, and I'm sure there are probably other options that you can think of here as well. But, you know, to get through the engineering portion, there's no financial risk. It's just that communicating to the landowners, if this is the route the town is intending to go, that, you know, at the time that construction commences, you need to have some sort of formal commitment that you're going to cover that 25% cost, that it's not the town's responsibility.
Okay, so that would be a separate agreement between the landowner and the town?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so we probably have to have an attorney draw that up
And that-
for us.
we were prepared to do that, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
And that, my understanding is, those expenses could be covered under the technical assistance budget.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that the town would have to put up the money to pay the attorney to draft the documents and so forth.
Okay.
If we got approved for more technical assistance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay.
right now it's like, $1,300.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we would do in that case is, and, the attorney letter can wait a little while, right?
Right.
So what I think would make the most sense to do, if you decide to move forward, is we'll get commitment from the NRCS about whether or not they're gonna do the engineering design, or we need to find an engineering consultant. If they're gonna do the design, great, that makes our lives a little bit easier. If they want the town to take that responsibility on, we would put out a request for proposals, detail the work that needs to be done, receive those bids. I can almost guarantee you that none of those bids will be below $1,300. At that point, we would send an additional funding request to the NRCS to say, we've got these bids, this is the amount it's gonna cost, and get a rough estimate from your town attorney. I mean, I'm sure that they know how to crank something out like that in an hour. So how much is it gonna cost in legal fees for the attorney to draft the letter, and actually get a quote from them about that? Because the more you can justify the expenses with actual bid documents, the easier it is gonna be for them to approve additional funding to help the effort.
Okay. Now, when we put the RFP together, or the bid, whatever we want to call it, will you be helping us with that as well?
Yeah, I have templates that I've used for this program for the past.
Okay.
And, it's basically a matter of changing the names and the dates and the places. The rest of the body of the template is
Yeah.
gonna be what it is. All the same contracting requirements that the feds put on someone are gonna be there. Those will remain consistent from the last time around. The scope of work, in terms of the deliverables, is all the same, but again, it's just, we need to identify the two properties, provide the site visit findings sheet from the NRCS. That would be part of the proposal packet, and then an engineer would respond to that. And it's really kind of up to us or you if you would want the engineer to come out and take a look at the sites before they do any bidding, to avoid I said it would be 1,000, but now that I've actually looked at the site, it's gonna be 5,000,
All right.
because at that point, it's a little bit trickier to request additional
I
funding.
think we actually agreed to do this not by vote, but we honestly went through all this stuff, right, with the USDA and all that stuff. So I think that, if it's not at any cost to the town, I think we should move it forward for the landowners, because I think we actually already agreed to be part of this program. It was just being administered by somebody else, probably us, and a lawyer versus someone from planning.
So probably what we should do then is make a motion to, accept this and have me sign it on our behalf, and then we can get the process
And I
started.
let the property owners know about tonight that Brian was gonna be here, but they're probably gonna watch back, they said,
Okay.
for the recording,
Okay.
just because they couldn't make it.
So Chuck, why don't you make that motion?
So,
Since you have the paperwork in front of you, you can read it.
let's see how the wording on this should be. So, I'd make a motion that we approve moving forward with the USDA grant, is that appropriate to call it that? On behalf of the town and the two landowners that are involved in the request for assistance in the damage that was done in the 2024 storm.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
No.
Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Okay. Don't ask me to repeat that.
It's recorded for posterity.
Eve
There you go.
Eve has it verbatim.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Eve. So I'll sign that document right now. Right here? Okay.
Me or you. I
Oh,
double,
so you're...
I
you're
double checked.
You're delegating this to me then?
I think so.
Yeah, it actually needs to be the select board chair unless Maddie has the authority to
Yeah, well, they
sign.
email, I asked today and they emailed and said either me or Chuck, and I said, well, Chuck will be great at that.
Okay, well, once you submit that, I will note Bob Thompson is on vacation this week.
Okay.
So don't expect to hear back from him right away, but you and I can communicate about the extension letter and we'll get that going
Awesome.
as well.
I appreciate
Sounds
it.
great.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for your help,
Thank you.
Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks all.
Yeah, good to meet you.
You as well.
All right, well, we had one other change to the agenda that I didn't mention. Item number 5, Mad River Arts. Dana Donaldson cannot attend
Oh, yeah.
the meeting tonight. She's out sick,
Yes.
from what you said, so we'll reschedule her some future time. So we'll move on to item number 6, the memorandum of understanding between the Mad River Valley Ambulance Service and the towns. So this is one of the things that you asked me to follow up on with Mad River Valley Planning District as well. So I think our view of what had happened is exactly what did happen. More towns signed their agreement that had one minor change to it. Warren and Waitsfield signed the original document that did not incorporate what more towns changed, and we had made a minor change to it. That we incorporated more towns change into ours though. So what the planning district did was brought it up at our last meeting last week. Waitsfield and Warren are gonna go back and look at the new document that we created, and hopefully they will sign that. Moretown, the planning district is gonna go back to them with the same request that they sign the new document. So if you'd like, I guess we could sign it tonight. This will become hopefully the official document.
The only thing the one that you sent me, the ambulance hadn't signed yet. So are they okay with it?
With who?
The ambulance.
Oh, the ambulance service, yeah. So they are, because they've been pressuring me to get this thing signed,
Okay.
so they have the document.
And I think we made the biggest change, right? We really
Yes.
looked at it in a different manner.
Yes, yeah. And I think Moretown, there was one word change that they made. I mean, it was
And they have
not
different
substantial.
select board members now anyway, so.
Yeah. So I feel pretty comfortable that I don't think Waitsfield or Warren are gonna make any more changes to this since they signed the original one. So we could sign it tonight, if we're all good with that, and send it along.
You good with it?
I'm fine with signing it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we sign the memorandum of understanding between us, Town of Fayston, and Mad River Valley Ambulance Service, and keep our fingers crossed that everybody signs the same document.
Okay. It looks like,
Everyone good with that?
Good
That
with
was a motion, so
Second that.
Mike seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
and it looks like all three of you have to sign that, so.
Oh, okay. Leave enough room for the dates here. Okay, I'll pass that along. Thank you all. I'm sure the ambulance service will be happy to hear that this is making progress. All right, next item on the agenda is two items actually, the curb cut on Boyce Road and another on Dunbar Hill. Let's start with Boyce Road, and Josh will certainly have you weigh in on this. I couldn't tell from the map, where is it up on Boyce?
Right up the first hill,
it turns to the right on the very first hill.
Yeah.
It's going off there on the left is what I went over with Jason this afternoon to make sure I was understanding where it was going.
Okay.
And I'm not sure of its purpose, if they're building or if they're just putting in a road for the access that they have.
Yeah, so,
That's where they were logging, right?
It's below where they were logging.
Oh, okay.
So where they were logging was Bridgewater, so this is
the
just
property's
down.
been for sale, I guess, for a
Okay.
while, and so, honestly, a realtor's been reaching out, and they did like the wastewater permit and getting the curb cut, so.
You can get a curb cut without a permit, right? Without a building permit.
Correct.
Yes, yeah. This was the one that they had proposed house sites, but
Yeah.
nothing. As a matter of fact, they were pretty clear that they were just proposed. So, I guess-
Yeah, my understanding is it's right there on that corner, which I'm fine with as far as visibility up and down, if that's where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, we should ask people to put a grade stake, you know, with spray paint orange on top of it, where it goes.
That's
So-
what they did on Dunbar.
I think that's what we should do, ask
Yeah.
for it,
Yeah.
so we can Josh can do a drive-by and say, okay, this is where it's going.
Honestly, Josh and Jason and I talked today about maybe redoing this curb cut, form and just making it a little bit easier and like making sure that it's marked out so that
Maybe,
Right.
yeah.
we can just tell Josh
Yeah.
where to go look.
And we tell them what size culvert, is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
true? Okay.
Yeah. So, based on that, if we approve this, any conditions you want to put on it? The size of the culvert?
2-foot culvert and, yeah, as long as it's where I'm thinking it is, on that corner.
Yeah,
I think we should still ask to put a grade stake where they think they want the culvert now.
That way there's no
I mean,
miscommunication.
I don't mind
Right.
approving
They
it,
just
but
live in Atlanta, Georgia.
I don't what?
They don't live around here.
So I think that we,
But if the realtor can,
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody should be able, I think we should, right? We don't
yeah,
wanna
yeah,
leave
Yeah.
it to chance.
yeah.
Okay, so just have it wait and then have them,
Have the realtor put a
I
stake.
would say, if we're questioning where the location is, we can't prove it without knowing exactly where it is.
yeah, I mean,
So-
there's a large berm of dirt there with some really big questionable rocks. It could be ledge going into that where I'm thinking. So it's, might be a chore to put one in there, but it's not impossible.
I mean, what do you think? We should put it off until somebody stakes it out for us?
Yeah,
to
do we know
take
where
a-
it is?
Yeah,
Right?
It'd be nice to know
I think
its
that's
location.
yeah,
reasonable.
yeah, okay. So Maddie, you contact the realtor?
yeah.
All right, okay. Then the one on Dunbar Hill, so you said that's staked out?
Yeah,
That one's a little bit, yeah, easier.
Any conditions on that one, Josh? 2-foot culvert there as well?
yep.
Any special conditions?
No.
Okay, so we'll just add that as the only condition. All right, we have a motion to approve that one, the curb cut for the Johnsons on Dunbar Hill Road.
I'd make a motion to approve that.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I'll sign, actually, all three of us have to sign this one as well, right? It's like we're signatures.
Just saying to make that form, a new form and like, the driveway, highway access permit that we redid, like we should connect it to this so then people,
And specify, put a
You know,
grade,
like-
grade stake in where the
Right.
center of the drive would be.
and
Yeah.
just like then it shows,
And,
you know,
and
responsible
even-
of the
and even leave a-
culvert and like their driveway.
And even leave a
Yeah.
space for the size of the
Yeah,
culvert.
Pull it all
So
together.
over the years,
Right,
it could
because-
change.
I don't think people
Yeah.
might not know about that we even have that other document if they're just looking for a.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Oh, it's on there. It says more.
All right, item number 8, road foreman update.
So I'm just gonna write up two.
Last week, we did the water line for Judy Gates and that culvert. So that's our part of that is done. Not sure if they have it hooked up yet. We'll have to go back at some point and finish ditching that section down below for spring.
We said by, what, November 1st? Is that what we asked for?
Yes.
To get it hooked up and everything.
She's trying to get it
Yeah.
done before that. She was
Okay.
Yeah,
way before.
But I did find, when I did dig it up, I found that the original water line was sleeved in conduit next to the culvert. So, when they changed it, they should have just gone back through the
Yeah.
original location. But it's all sleeved, it's back in there now. They can hook it up and we'll get rid of the old one that runs down the ditch line.
okay. And
Hopefully.
Julie was happy with everything that.
She brought them pie.
Oh yeah, no, she was
What
happy
about
with it.
the
I
select
know.
board?
I didn't get any either.
Wait a minute. No pie for you. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, today with the rain, which we definitely need, but that slows down some of the other stuff we're doing. Got some shop work, putting trucks back together, gonna get ready for the change of seasons, so.
And you got a delay on the gravel pit work, right?
Yeah, I got pushed back a week as of now, so hopefully beginning of next week. And I might only have 2 guys doing it, cause I'll be going on vacation, which was planned, and unfortunately, I tried to get it done before, but
Yeah.
they pushed me back, so, I did reach out to Michael and said if they need him, if he'd be willing to operate the loader. He didn't say no. I didn't really get a yes, but he didn't say no. So we'll take that as a yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think with Michael, that would be a yes.
We'll pressure him.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And we know he's watching.
Yeah,
So,
so-
Yes, exactly. So Michael, that is a yes.
If we need him, I don't know. I don't know. This is a new screen that they're bringing in. I don't know how fast or slow it's gonna be. They said it's gonna be super fast, but we'll
So-
see.
They think they'll get done a lot sooner than they have in past years?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
But normally, the machine they bring, they load with a bucket loader. This will be loaded with an excavator. So, we'll see how that goes. But the screen they're bringing is on tracks, so it's movable.
Okay.
See what happens.
We'll see, right?
Yep.
Yeah?
I did talk to Matt Dwyer with McCullough Crushing about getting a plan together for when the snow is gone in the spring, about some crushing, and we'll have to discuss that and budgeting and try to get them in. And maybe, I would love to do the crushed gravel and then do sand right back to back in the spring of the year.
Yeah, just get it over with.
Okay,
Yeah,
bring them in, get out here.
instead of pushing it into late fall, but they have a bunch of gravel pits that I know they're gonna try to be getting up and running in the spring, so I don't know how that'll work, but it is a discussion that I had with him briefly.
Okay.
Gotta get some grass seed down on some of our open ditches. I probably not gonna hydroseed it. I'm just gonna put seed down. I did that at the shop with some winter rye and it grew pretty good, even though it was dry. And with this moisture, it should grow pretty good even this time of year.
Yeah.
Just the hydroseed's so expensive and trying to save a little bit, so.
Although I looked at the numbers on your overall budget, I mean, there were areas we were concerned about that you went over, but there was others that are under, so overall, that budget is still somewhat in line, so.
We're not done yet.
That's not what I want to hear.
It is September.
Yeah,
Okay, scratch that.
doing my best.
Scratch that.
Snowfall.
All right,
And one
anything
more
else?
thing, we're doing a turnaround, or a turnaround pull-off. It's on Judy Gates' property. it's by Strong Road. The bus has a lot of hard times in the winter getting turned around there, getting backed up. Usually their front end gets too far over near the trees, then they lose traction, can't go forward, can't go backwards. So I'm trying to make another option for them to turn around on flat ground.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll have it completed for this year. We've been hauling some of our bank run material out of our pit there just to get it built out a little bit. Judy actually asked for it, and it's something we've wanted to do for quite a few years. But because she asked for it, I jumped on it.
You know, I wonder if we should,
I was gonna say, because I live off of Strong Road.
Yeah.
And I noticed where you put the material there on the other side.
Yeah, it might help a lot of people because they tend to
Exactly.
go over that bank, so it might give them a,
We go,
buffer.
when that hill is icy, sometimes it doesn't matter how slow you're going, you slide down and then it's such a steep drop off.
right,
Yeah.
That there's been a number of times where people have gone over
yep.
and gotten stuck, so.
I always saw
that's
the marks.
beneficial. Yeah.
But,
I wonder if we're on her property, right?
yes,
I wonder if we shouldn't document it with an email. I know she wants it, because I talked to you about it, but I wonder if we shouldn't just reach out and document it with an email that this is okay.
yeah.
That probably-
Before we get too far along, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, maybe just a confirmation
Yeah,
email to
just
her.
to say, hey, Judy, you know, Josh, you know,
She wanted a place to park off the road when she goes over there to mow in the summer, and I was like, I don't mind doing it, and we'll do the work, as long as I can get the bus to turn around here.
So maybe just a confirmation of that with
It's a
her.
benefit to
I don't
all.
think she has emailed, but.
I think so, and
Yeah.
it's right lined up where people tend to go over the
Yeah.
bank, so hopefully it'll be
Perfect.
a benefit for that too, so we can have a little less
It'd be,
crashes there.
it'd be like the runaway truck lane.
It kinda is, I mean, that hill just, it's steep
I
and,
know. I know. Okay. Anything else?
nope,
All right, thank you, Josh. Gravel pit update.
So
Ron.
I made a call, a couple of meetings to McCain to see where they're at. I finally got hold of George and asked him about a survey. And he said, well, you know, surveys are more expensive than some people think. I should give you an estimate. So we did, and I think I passed it on to everybody. And because I have no clue really what was talked about before I got here, but I did ask him, he said, well, I can flag the boundaries. And I said, we'd like you to do that, right? I think that's a couple $1,000s or something, fairly inexpensive. And then I had him give a written proposal to actually do a full survey. But he'll flag it in the next couple of weeks. I gave him permission to do it because I figured that's a good way to move it forward, right?
Yep.
And we could always try to budget for this if it's bigger than people. I don't know what's in that. There's a reserve for this, is there?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we should, I'm just giving information out now. We can all think about it. We can put it back on the docket next week, or next meeting to table it to next year after budget season, or do it. But he's about 6 weeks out to do a full survey.
Right.
So that takes us into the winter.
Well, yeah, and whether it's necessary or not, I don't know. I think you would probably just use LiDAR on what's existing there, because, I mean, it's not like we're gonna keep grades the same. I mean, most likely they're gonna change very significantly. So I think if we just did a LiDAR flyover, I mean, they don't do it, they just get the data from that. That we could have a much better idea of what's still there and where it is. You know, so I think that would be
So
easier.
what's the process? I mean, having them flag it is probably worth it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so then what's the next step? We have some test borings, but,
We would get a base map with current elevations.
from,
McCain could do
McCain.
it, or someone else.
okay,
That's a very standard type of map that they can
Okay.
make. And they can make it in and out. I mean, they don't have to go to the pit.
they can do it from the,
almost sounds like you know how to do it.
I don't.
so,
I don't have
so-
access to the data.
so if,
But I know people that do, so we could get this done very quickly.
so if we could, So that's, the next step would be to have topos.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying? And
Right, but so what McCain is providing in a survey is a full surveyed topo, which we probably don't need. We just need an electronic one,
Okay,
which we could generate, and then we would place borings where we think they should be.
okay. And would you be doing the borings?
Yeah.
Okay, so we should, and you probably wouldn't do them this year.
We could do them in the winter, as long as, I mean, if,
I mean,
the early winter before there's a lot
I'd
of
like to just
snow.
move it forward, that's all. So,
Yeah.
let me talk to George. You know, I'm funny about surveys. You know, probably the town has a survey of every piece of land they own, including here, Boyce Hill, the one over by the school, what's that one? I can never remember. McCullough Barn. I'm sure there's probably a survey on that. It would seem like it's a forever document.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a forever document, and it's only gonna get more expensive. But I can see where we don't, you know, necessarily do it this year. It's a discussion. But we'll get it flagged, and I'll ask him for a digital topo.
Yeah.
Is that what I should ask for?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next step, Mike, the LiDAR, would we,
If George can't provide that,
okay.
it
then.
may be something that he can just whip right off.
I'll ask him.
If not, we'll get it
We'll find
And
something.
what do you call it?
LiDAR,
LIDAR?
LiDAR, LIDAR.
Oh, LIDAR.
It's basically a satellite-based
Okay.
elevation.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll give him a buzz.
not to go too far off track here, but I was just watching National Geographic is doing a special on the Mayans in Central America. And so they've got drones, you know, small drones with cameras on them with the LiDAR, and it's amazing what they're finding underneath the forest there now. All these temples and buildings that they didn't even know existed, but with LiDAR, it just shows right up on the
Yeah.
graph. So it's amazing stuff. Yeah. So if you want to find a temple in Central America, you
so
can go with the LiDAR.
Do you need the topos to do your work?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll find out, maybe next meeting, I'll have them give me a price or something, and, I mean, I just authorized, what, a couple thousand to
Yeah.
flag it. I mean, I figure we gotta get on his docket. Okay,
It would be good to know where the lines
What?
are. It would be good to know where the lines are.
yeah.
So do we need to sign something to get him going? This document that you sent out?
No,
Oh,
because
no.
this is the,
No.
you know,
Okay.
No, because we're not gonna do the survey now.
No.
I've authorized the flagging of the boundaries,
Okay,
and now I've gotta ask him about the LiDAR.
okay. Perfect. All right, well, thank you. We'll get that
Okay?
moving along a little bit
Then we'll
there.
call Platform and have them do some drilling in the winter.
Yeah.
About February.
Hey, Mike.
On.
Okay, moving on to other business. So the first item was that MOU, they called it, and I guess it is a memorandum of understanding for mutual aid through Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission. So I don't know, we have the document, Maddie sent it out. What we want to do for our next step is something we want to participate in.
I didn't actually get a chance to read it,
Okay,
but in theory, I think it's worth belonging to.
Yeah.
yeah, so essentially what it's doing, so for the folks back home too, is every town that wants to participate would provide a list of their contact people, the equipment that they have in the town, and, you know, that kind of information. And then if a town has a disaster like we did last year, it gives us another resource to contact to say, is anybody maybe in Barry or wherever that could come help us
But
out?
it also allows us to collect money
Yeah.
correct.
from FEMA or whatever the
Right.
source is to
Correct.
reimburse Waitsfield and Warren and.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
Yes.
So I think that's what, for me, is the biggest
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
deal is, you know.
And that is only during a disaster, right?
Right.
It's not, okay.
Yep.
Josh, come down with the grader.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
Ron, can
just
you-
making sure.
Can you repeat that? It allows Fayston to collect money for other towns?
It allows towns to get reimbursed from other towns
Ah,
for work during a disaster that,
okay.
in other words, FEMA during this last disaster we couldn't
Pay Waitsfield or
reimburse
Warren.
Waitsfield for their time. And they were happy to give it to us, I think, but we could have actually reimbursed them if we had this memorandum.
Right,
Mm.
okay.
And vice
Okay,
versa,
starts
for,
with it.
yeah.
Mhm. I mean, this is something we've always done locally within the valley. But having it documented
But
on
we-
paper and
And we
being
s-
able to get reimbursed would be,
Yeah.
Right, but, and we
Yeah.
still do would not get reimbursed, like when you helped Waitsfield, right?
Right,
But that's
yeah.
a nice thing to do, you know?
Yeah,
well, yeah,
Anytime,
one hand washes the other, you
anytime,
know?
yeah.
yeah. This formalizes it though, and
Yes.
allows us to get reimbursed, so that's a great thing.
Yep.
So you want to put it on the agenda to talk about next meeting?
Yeah,
Give
could-
everybody
could
time to read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, read
Yeah,
it.
yeah, okay. I agree, though, I think it's a good idea. I don't think we can lose participating in
No.
that, so.
Right.
And I told you I sent you a copy of that,
Yep.
so you can take a look at it
Yep.
as well. Okay, so speaking of road policies, we had implemented our own road policy, I think back in July, you sent the document out today. And in the meantime, or during that time, the planning district was also working on a road policy. And this was all based, remember Sarah had put together the wording for us, and so we alerted the other towns through the planning district that we weren't getting reimbursed and the issues related to that. So they came up with their own wording. I don't know that we need to change ours. I just wanted to share what they came up with you. And again, Maddie had sent this out as well. I don't know if you have a chance to read it. If you want, we could put it on the next agenda as well as something.
Are they the same thing?
The wording is a little bit different, but its intent is to accomplish the same
Who
thing.
wrote the one, who wrote ours?
That was Sarah,
Sarah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And we incorporated that into a document in July.
Yes, so
And-
it's the curb, yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
and the
access.
The planning
Policy.
district just came out with this wording.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So,
So just a question though, like, because if we do this with the Central Vermont, do we really need this?
I think it couldn't hurt to have it anyway, you know?
I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, in case other towns might not go into
Yeah,
this too.
yeah,
If Waitsfield doesn't go into it, we could still have an agreement with just Waitsfield,
yeah,
Yeah.
Waitsfield and Warren and, yeah.
or,
Gotcha.
So, should we put that on the agenda for next meeting as well? And
So that's a broader based
yes,
package.
so, right, this one is
So
more
ours
just
is
like,
between Waitsfield, Warren, and Moortown.
Yeah, ours has
Right.
just been locally,
Yeah.
but that
Okay.
other one
I
is,
got it, yep.
so we updated like Fayston's, so that, because of the driveway culverts.
Right.
correct.
So that was what we updated. Then we
Yeah.
asked the Mad River to put together
Right.
something for Waitsfield and Warren and Moortown.
Yeah,
After we learned that, and then the Central Vermont
Gone.
is doing one.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
So they handed out this document, the planning district did it the last meeting last week and gave it to the Waitsfield and Warren as something, if they want to implement it, they can, you know, with their wording, or change the wording or whatever they want to do. So, like I said, I don't think we need to change our wording. I think we felt pretty comfortable when we designed it, but
Okay.
we can take a look at it and talk about it next meeting. The next item was to ratify the 4 quarters liquor license that we gave Maddie permission to sign based on a panicked email from the person. This isn't the first time that's happened,
Well, I
that they sent it to
gotta ask,
Waitsfield.
why wouldn't a town, whoever that comes to,
So,
in the wrong town, just call up and say, hey,
Yes, you would think.
because I think they mail them back. I mean, what
Yeah.
a shame.
well, I don't think it's all electronic.
Oh,
Like,
is
you know, not, the-
You get electronic?
yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's like a portal that we log into, and so Waitsfield received it and was like, had to reject it because it was for Fayston, and then, yeah, no one, the state, I guess, didn't contact her back, letting her know, and she had no idea that ours zip code, you know, she's like, why does that happen? I'm like, oh, happens more than you think.
All right,
So yeah, this is just needs to,
I make a motion, we ratify the 4 quarters
Yep.
application.
all in favor? Aye. Okay.
that's good, because it's happening right now.
Thanks.
Oh, let's,
Wait a minute, we gotta go over and get a beer. Okay, Next addition I had put on there was for the Man River Valley Planning District local option tax. And I sent the document out, I think today, just to take a look at it. I don't think it's anything we have to discuss further. Remember 2-3 years ago, they tried to have one local area option tax for the entire valley, and the money was going to be dedicated to housing, affordable housing. And back then, you needed a charter change for each town that was going to participate in it.
No. Fayston and Warren didn't. Waitsfield did because they were not an original gold town, so they needed to have a charter change.
Oh.
So we couldn't do it together.
Okay, and they voted it down, Waitsfield did. So the legislature changed all that, now nobody needs a charter change to do it. Instead of taking, I think the number was 30% the state was gonna take, now it's down to 25%. So the planning district looked at all the old analysis that they had done and said, well, maybe now's the time to relook this thing, because there's some major projects that the towns may want to offset by a local options tax instead of a property tax. Like Waitsfield, maybe the wastewater is something they may want to try to fund. The town garage in Warren, which is going to be very expensive, they may want to look at it. At our meeting last week, there was a couple of people who brought up, said, well, maybe we should look at it as a 3-town thing again. I don't know. So, but here's the other piece of that too. I don't know if you had a chance to read it yet, but there's no data on Fayston. And the reason is we didn't meet the threshold for the number of businesses that would collect taxes on certain things. And if the number of those businesses is too few, it'd be too easy to figure out where the data is coming from. So, you know, how much was collected in meals tax or,
Right.
you know, that kind of thing. So the data is available to us if we wanted the planning district to pursue it, but it's not in this report that I sent to you guys. So essentially we have not a clue how much, if anything, we would get out of implementing a local option tax. So I just wanted everyone to know the discussion's taking place. People are, you know, looking at it for various reasons right now. There may be more coming out about it in the future. But for right now, it's just a discussion that's taking place.
So really what we have is like some lodges in Sugarbush North and Mad River, right? It's really all.
Yeah, so one of the things though on the local option tax that, again, we don't know what it would impact us. It would also affect collecting taxes on online businesses. And nobody has any numbers on that right now. So what they're looking at, if the number is $800,000, which I think it was for one of the towns, it does not include any online shopping revenue from taxes on that. So they figured that could increase it 30 to 40%. But nobody has numbers on that right now. So, but it would include that kind of.
Do they tax a ski pass?
I don't know.
They must.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
We tax everything.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know what it
Me
is.
neither. That's thinking. That would be a tough one to figure out. An Epic Pass?
Yeah,
You can buy them in Utah.
I don't know. But anyway,
Okay. Right.
that's an FYI, I think, for all of us, just to let you know where things are at with that. And then finally, Doug Mosley had sent out an email a week or so ago about changes for listers versus assessors and training that's going to be required for the people. And I mean, it was a very lengthy email, but it just uncovered a lot of issues that I think we need to address. So I'd like to invite him to come to a couple of our meetings. And
I read it and understood it pretty well, and actually Doug hikes where I'm building, and I probably chatted with him for half an hour the other day. But it is pretty interesting thing that's happening, and what the state is probably
Yeah.
forcing us into, you know?
Yeah,
So Doug had asked if he was gonna come to this select board meeting, but then he was like, I'm gonna write an email first, and then, because once we start budgeting, when like we'll invite Jason, we'll invite Doug.
Mhm.
So he said, maybe we can just combine it to that meeting.
oh,
Yeah.
if he
Just
takes
because we're
it,
getting, I mean, it's November, so
Yeah, it's
probably
a-
we're gonna
it's
be
a-
doing,
yes,
I
for
think the
sure.
issue is a ways down the road.
Yeah.
He just, it's coming.
Yeah. it's
Yes,
just-
but the
And
training,
I think he's talked about this in the past, and we've,
yeah,
so
Yeah.
it's something that's been coming for
Well,
a little while, yeah.
so he's good with a November budget meeting?
yeah, he said, well, you know what, why don't we just
Okay.
do
because
it?
We're all good.
they've actually put dates on it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Deadlines are,
Okay, so we're all good with that too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
That was all that I had, unless anybody's got anything else. So we could read the mail, sign the warrant, and then move into executive session, which you're gonna stay for, Josh? Yeah. Okay.
No meal.
Nobody loves it.
No roses in our mailboxes.
I never got the roses in my mailbox. And now I find out I didn't get pie either. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. This is crazy. We don't have a lot of other things other than payroll, huh? See, those I was talking about, we were like at 73% overall.
That's not too bad.
So I'm just trying to convince you that you know, maybe you don't want to spend a whole lot of money. You know, I'm kidding, whatever you guys do. You know, this got cut off in the thing.
Oh,
that
hey,
we sent.
Josh.
Oh,
Yeah,
All the stone that you took out, the riprap that was on,
yeah.
where did that go? Is it in the pit?
No,
Oh,
they got used as fill.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't know how that happened, so it went
just when,
because it's got
honestly,
so
I think
much
what happens is
silt
when
and shit
if I
mixed into
scan
it.
this like this, I'll just make sure to do it in some
If I
bigger
ran
paper
it through a
somewhere.
crusher,
Yeah,
it's just got so much
yeah, maybe,
I'll just do it
fines
as a
mixed
separate.
into
Yeah,
it.
yeah, okay.
I don't know.
yeah, this is a good one to
Because
read.
I was curious, because somebody had asked us at the.
Yeah.
Something to think
you
about,
know,
for sure.
we
It's just
had
when you're in the
obligated
middle of
and
a
did,
project and
that's
you
the
go
problem.
go somewhere closer with it, it's
When,
hard.
when it's in there, I mean, this, the sand all over it. You can't-
Awesome.
It packs in, it sinks down into the base of the stone. I mean, I've gone like on Tucker Hill and I've dug the sand and silt off the top and then like kind of shook it around as best I can.
Yes.
You wanna
All right,
Locked in, so it's a
make it,
next
Not
item
fun.
on the agenda that we added is to move into executive session. I'll make a motion that we do that to discuss personnel matter. Do a second?
Yes.
Mike, all in favor? Aye. At 7:40.